Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Dave Lees.
And I'm Jonathan Byer. Hi, Dave. This is a big weekend. I have a lot to discuss with you.
We've got a lot to discuss. This is this and that. For all you who are new here, please subscribe below, smash that like button. We are going to be discussing the Russian test skates, a little bit of the Lombardia trophy, and some Mid-Atlantics action, which sadly we couldn't see this year because of COVID. So
I know, but I went to like a Broadway show the night before, which is why I had anticipated on attending Mid-Atlantics, but called fortunately ahead of time and they were like, nope, nobody allowed.
Listen, the traffic in New York is absolutely insane this weekend. I don't know if it's the US Open or what's happening, but it's just been standing all. I was stuck in traffic today and on Friday, which is I apologize for this show being late. I had a work trip this weekend. So I was out filming for my other life. So that happened.
Yeah, and also there was like 20 hours worth of skating to consume this weekend. Like it was quite intense.
It was so funny because I was on I was staying with someone that I was filming with them for work. We were discussing work things and then we were, a little bit of socializing and my phone is just going off and off and off. And I'm like, And then I'm trying to be like, a good house guest and, putting my phone away and, trying to catch up on the Russian test skates at, 11 in the morning. I get a call from Russia at 7 this morning being like, are you watching? I'm like, oh, yes.
I'm trying to live my life. Yeah.
What's happening? So yes. Someone's like, do you want to go on the boat on Sunday? And I'm like thinking in my head, like, I should say yes, right? And then I'm thinking like, and what time am I going to watch the Russian test skates? Like, what
right.
is it?
Exactly.
I'm like, you don't know what you're asking a person,
Right? Because we do this with a quick turnaround. Like it's always a joy to do it, but it does sort of like force us into watching in periods of time. Yeah.
We are on a schedule. All right.
Hit it. Where do you want to start?
It is going to be redone in much nicer fashion, but I am just telling you. This is my take. All right. This is the take. These are the rankings. You can all debate below, and I will explain why. Okay?
Okay. You know what, Dave? I'm with you. I'm with you on a lot of this. Yeah.
I will explain why there is a reason and a rationale for almost everyone.
A rationale.
Maiia
Maiia
is moving on up. Okay?
Maiia landed another quad. It will never cease to amaze me when she does it. And I
just
gotta
like
be honest,
the Jeffersons, she is moving on up to a deluxe apartment in the sky. She is 2 away. All right.
From elevating. Yeah, exactly. And Dave, I have to say, she was borderline interesting. She suddenly had some like pizzazz and confidence going on that I was like, you are becoming much more interesting to watch.
All right, let's get down with it. Evgenia Medvedeva, she gave an interview last week. We talked about it. Yeah. You know what? She's interesting. She's a bad girl. She's sometimes still talking about
attending Russian nationals this year. I mean,
right? Like, is she doing all sorts of drama and theatrics? But Alena Zagitova has really not been bringing it the last several weeks.
No. Yeah.
I feel like Alena, she's going to bring in the money when she hosts Ice Age again, and she'll be relevant again for the Olympics. But
reigning champion. Yeah.
She hasn't been bringing me the interest. So even though Evgenia is sometimes a little bit opinionated,
which we love that. Yeah.
Bringing the intrigue, and that
is a point of view, Dave. Yeah.
That is getting her number 7 for this week. Okay.
Okay.
If her Anna Karenina performance were a little bit more interesting, she might be ahead of Daria because frankly, Daria didn't skate all that well this week.
What happened to Daria? Daria was like my girl, and she seems to be the one, as we talk about.
Your girl, I picked her first.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, when their like technique starts to fail, we sort of know it, but they seem to be tweaking the technique so that it does, a little bit better by everyone. But this seemed like old school, oops, the Atari thing is failing her.
I didn't see it that way.
Okay.
And here's my take. I don't think Daria's ever been the most natural competitor in the group.
Agreed. Even on the Junior Grand Prix, we always saw moments of greatness, but she really struggled.
Going back to when they were advanced novice skaters. And when she was coming up against Kamila Valieva and doing the Dracula program, she has had more inconsistency issues than the other skaters. Now, she is in a group of the 6 most intense skaters in the world right
Yeah,
now, right?
truly.
Every single day. And she has had the pressure of trying to upgrade and get a quad salchow and or triple axel while preparing a program and going for an Olympics team that she's very much on the outside looking in and trying to
Right.
claw her way. And without those elements, it's going to be very, very difficult for Daria. She doesn't have 3 years of being Russia's national champion like Anna Shcherbakova, right? She doesn't have that track record. To me, I took this as some early season jitters, which we have seen from her in the past.
Yes.
Remember, we talked about the Junior Grand Prix. Even last season, it took her more than others, more time to get in. Those events in Russia really helped her. She really grew her confidence and her consistency, but we still never saw, wow. She was like a solid fourth last year.
Yeah. And lovely qualities, but kind of generic in the program sometimes.
Not the best jumper. Her flip and Lutz jumps have never been her strongest. I think her strongest is overall skating, her connection to the music. We saw really wonderful things in the short program, even though The Greatest Showman, trite, used by every intermediate, novice, juvenile lady in the US and elsewhere. Right. Although there was that adult skater, Krista, who did it, which is just the most amazing performance of all time from 2019 at the Adult Nationals. But if you haven't seen it, what are you not doing? But this performance, lovely. The free skate.
Tight. It's the landings were all so tight and questionable. It made me nervous.
Ted kept feeling like she wasn't getting that free leg out. Overall, it just wasn't her day. And
I'm sorry, -5 with a lady singing Nessun Dorma. It's a lesbian love story now. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not turned on. Like, I was like, what's happening?
Please clarify that you were talking about the singer representing a lesbian and not Daria, because when this is printed on Sports RU, I do not need to see Jonathan Byer, which
we're talking about the opera turned up. We're talking about the opera turned up.
Automatically get translated to Dave Lease called Daria Usacheva a lesbian, because this is how things get reported back, Jonathan. So if you can please make my life just a little bit easier. Okay.
The role of Kalov, who sings Nessun Dorma and turned up, it really should be sung by a man. I'm sorry, it feels really weird to hear a woman do it.
Or Michael Bolton, he does a lovely rendition. Or Aretha Franklin, who does a lovely rendition. She could be whatever she wants to be, okay?
Yeah, okay.
She's fluid. She's pan, okay? She's dead, actually. So, I mean.
It's actually, I'm
talking about Aretha Franklin, not Daria's Olympic hopes, which might be one and the same.
Or are we? Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Anyway. I just think for Daria, look, she's starting the season, number 6 within the Atari group,
right?
Really number 7 when you add in Tuktamysheva. So
right.
I don't think that she's in any danger of going to Beijing this season. If the Olympics.
But my question was always what waited for her after the Olympics, and this sort of put a question mark on it for me in the moment.
I think we're still waiting to see is, can these coaches get Daria to the level of being a champion, being someone who can slam dunk under pressure at the big moment. Yeah. We've seen her skate well under pressure at the big moment, but it does take her several competitions. Right. Others are more natural. Trusova is a killer, okay? She is killer.
And all you had to do was watch them. It was interesting without the scoring and all this sort of stuff, to watch them banter with the coaches and get ready before they took the ice. Trusova's cracking jokes. She's chatting with a Terry. She has that swagger already because she knows she's going to be fine. Then you see other girls that are like looking a little tight, a little anxious to get out there and just start the thing. And it showed. Do you know what I mean? It was really nice to see Trusova have that swagger, because you almost knew she was going to hit even before she touched the ice.
But let's be honest about Daria. She's lasted a lot longer on Team Tutberidze than many other skaters that we've discussed on this and that over the last several years. Serafima Sakhanovich, Polina Surskaya, the one who went to Plushenka, like before the Two Bad Girls, you know, like so many, you know. Remember Daria with the red hair and the messy lipstick? Where did she go? I mean, there have been a lot of skaters that have just come and go, every boy. She has survived The coaches clearly think she's a skater of quality. Otherwise, she would not be here.
Right.
And they believe in her enough. And she obviously is a hard worker to have survived and lasted this long. Otherwise, she would have been out. Okay.
Right.
Ksenia Sinitsina, who was competing here, looked lovely in some moments. We've been hearing 2.5 years. Oh, Team Tutberidze wants her. Oh, now they're not sure. Oh, they want her. Oh, they're hedging. Listen, if they wanted her that badly, she would have been there and been one of the ladies on the pyramid, and she's not. And I think you can kind of see.
And the jumps are so low. It's like Sofia Samadurova, like barely leaves the ice for a lot of them, and was kind of a bit of a snooze fest for me. I know she has 2 Grand Prix assignments, and she could be the one vulnerable part in these like Russian sweeps we're anticipating on all of the Grand Prix.
Samadurova had a lovely moment in time. She capitalized the right season.
Right.
There's just too much depth in the country for her to even be in the conversation. It's amazing that she's actually here where she is, and a testament to her own work ethic and competitiveness. But look, I mean, the viewers have eyes. They know where she ranks compared to the other skaters, and that's that. You know, she's not really going to press these girls. These girls were unbelievable. You talked about Maiia Khromykh. I thought Maiia had a lot more personality here and confidence than I've ever seen.
I agree. And they gave her interesting music. She looks like she grew up a little bit, like perhaps since the last time we had seen her right before Worlds. But I'm telling you, that competition where she landed those 2 quads must have like changed her whole perspective on something. And I saw, yes, she didn't do the sow, I think, but she did the toe, or vice versa. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it had energy and performance like factor to it. And again, a quad from a woman that I have to admit, I never saw it happening. Like those attempts early in the season last year, I was like, dear Lord, somebody save her. She's going to hurt herself. And she did it again. It's insane. It's insane.
Yes. So I think, you know, obviously a step up. Let's say she's number 5 right now. I would say, let's say she's neck and neck with Tuktamysheva, based on how Tuktamysheva skated, based on their track records, yada, yada. Listen, you've got 2 skaters ahead of you. You have to knock out. Not a terrible place to be in an Olympic season.
Right.
Odds are someone gets hurt. Not that you wish an injury on someone. We're talking about probability with these quadruple jumps, triple axels, pressure, training, travel, exhaustion, everything that goes into an Olympic season. If she can grow her consistency, she has an outside shot.
Yeah, she has momentum.
She doesn't have cachet with the judges. She's at least an option, right? Which
she
I honestly
do kind of okay on the Grand Prix.
I honestly don't believe that Maiia has ever been an option until now.
Correct. She put her name in the hat, I felt, with that one competition with the 2 quads, but it was so a one-off situation that you don't know where it's going. Now, and this is going to be a nice base tie. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Oh, how perfect is that? Okay. Here's the thing. Do you want to watch 3 Americans at the Olympics and not see some of these girls? This is ridiculous to me. I was watching an Olympic final here. All of these women I need to see because they're the best in the world.
That's so funny because, you know, obviously the skaters are on here. Many of them are getting ready for Neville Warren. And with no disrespect to them, it's like, what is this system with the per country rules? But if you're thinking it, and this is what someone else kept bringing up to me, and I've said it before on here, but they brought it up again, and I was thinking on my drive home today, think about where does skating go in a year? And what is the systemic failure and why in the rest of the world, other than a few outliers, in a year, let's say Nathan's done, let's say Vincent Zoe is done, let's say Hanyu is done, Shoma, unclear. Right.
But very possible he could choose to.
I would think Chalk and Bates, Hubble and Donahue, Papadakis and Cizeron. Sui and Han, probably retired.
Probably paying in gym.
Who is going to challenge the Russians in these disciplines next year? Is it going to be how many on the Europeans, the Grand Prix final, the Worlds? And as someone said to me this morning, the first year, everyone's going to say, Russia's amazing. The second year, they're going to go, what's happening? The third year, people are going to get upset. And that it could have, and people will start to lose motivation within the sport if they feel like there's a stranglehold.
Yeah.
But then what I think we saw today is that Russia they have sponsors, they have excitement, they have everything in line in a system to keep dominating because the excitement and the enthusiasm is there.
Right.
USFS Champs Camp was accidentally on Live Barn one day and then taken down. But why wasn't it shown on YouTube? Why aren't they building the audience in the same way? Why isn't Canada doing it? Why the secrecy? Does it really benefit anyone in the long run? If you're going to switch a program, who cares? These skaters could switch a program.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
And these they performed up. They're already one competition ahead. And it was just kind of an exhibition in many ways. I was thinking that.
There's pressure at Champs Camp to do well. But imagine if you had the pressure of doing well against your compatriots.
In a simulated competition.
In a simulated competition. It's so much more beneficial.
Especially coming out of COVID.
Right. And I think that traditionally these federations have had a lot of control and they like the secrecy element. It makes everyone involved feel very special. And
there it is. Yeah.
But let's think about it. Is it really serving you if skaters are showing up to the competition leaving out jumping passes at Champs Camp, even though they don't want them to, and everything is written, but then when all is said and done.
Because it inevitably doesn't count.
Yes.
And it's, again, you just saw a complete depth of all four disciplines just show up and give you world championship, Olympic level performances. They're going to be that much more ahead for it. It's a whole mind shift. And it's why they're excellent. They're all excelling for that very reason. Well, we're here safe and talking and being hypothetical and,
Champs Camp could have been on there.
Yeah.
When you think about it, there are no real secrets, right? Other than who's doing what program. We heard Papadakis and Cizeron likely doing a tango, but are Sinitz and Katsalapov going to go change their program because they're going to say, oh, they're doing a tango? No, they're going to change their program because it's crap or something.
Right.
Yeah. So you have to believe in your own material. It's just.
Otherwise, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
So it's not like there are going to be so many new elements that we're going to see that we never saw before in ice dance, right?
Exactly.
You could change program content over time, but you have to train that up. It's not just oh, I should just add that extra quad in because she's doing another one. It's going to take work.
If you had the option, you would have been doing. Yeah.
In most cases. So anyway, Camila Valieva. Last time we did the pyramid, she was ranked number 1.
Yeah. And after the short program, I would have still had her number 1.
All right. So I talked to Galina multiple times. Usually she's way too important to watch, but yet she calls because she wants to hear everything.
Amazing. Yeah. She still wants to be in the know though. Yeah.
When this happens, she's talking to Yelena Tchaikovskaya on the phone. Oh, they're telling her, oh, Camila, she growing just little bit. Consistency not there. Oh, maybe excellent short program. Maybe not enough excellent tomorrow 3 program. I think what they're seeing is she is a taller skater. This has been a worry over time.
Right. Although Maiia also, right? Is Maiia even taller than Valieva or something?
Yeah, but I think, listen, their musculature for how their technique is, they have differences and everyone's body is a little bit different. Valieva clearly needs to adjust.
Right.
And what I think we're seeing is that last year, and up until, 2 days ago, everyone has been saying that Camila Valieva is going to win the Olympics.
Myself included. I thought it was a no-brainer because of the combination of the quads and the triple axel, which was going to put her ahead in the short. And the other girls that have the triple axel don't have the quads.
Her landing position, everything. to me, what I saw without the jumps and with
dreadful bolero, dreadful.
It's dreadful. This is not Karolina Kostner. This is not a great program. And I know that they took things from the ballet, but it's not effective. And it's not reading to me as anything that's unique enough. They haven't spent enough time on the skating skills. Granted, she's doing far harder content than Karolina Kostner did. And there's a trade-off there.
Right.
We have not seen someone do both 100%, right? That is completely, there is a trade-off here in terms of the components.
Right.
But without, I found both programs to be a little bit generic.
They don't seem to me like they believe she's going to win the Olympics almost. I feel like these are, if you want, like Zagitova, they gave Olympic material to.
They did? I don't think that they did.
Well, I think the music was important enough and stately enough. Like this bolero, I just don't.
To be honest about Zagitova. I think she was one of those girls with piss poor posture that they put in a tutu, and because she had a gorgeous face and could jump on the beat.
And gave real highbrow music. It was very classy music that was stately. That helped, I think, the overall image.
The skating wasn't, but everyone goes, oh, what a ballerina. Because it's like Halloween, right?
Yeah.
We're playing a Halloween costume that she has the most trite, cheap Don Quixote, and everyone's like, oh, it is like Kitri took to the eyes. No, she just landed 7 triples in the second half, and we were all like, wow, it was on the beat, and that was automatically exciting from an athletic point of view. But artistically, 100%. It was crap. We judge it on Patreon. We broke it down. It was crap.
Remember, we tried to bury it, but damn that like backloading of the thing, it made it damn near impossible. Yeah.
Some of us might have
gone there anyway. All right, I had Satoko on the podium and Yevgenia fourth.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Yeah, you got to see it to understand. Okay.
The short program was, right? These were not.
Yeah.
From a competitive point of view, it was like gymnastics, like current gymnastics. I don't know about you. I'm impressed when I watch them at the Olympics. Am I going to go rewatch them after I take my melatonin and when I'm seeing visual art? No, I'm going to go watch the 80s. I'm going to go watch Usacheva and Zulin. I'm going to watch gorgeous skating.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch Kamila Valieva skate to Bolero and be like, ah, okay.
During a slow dun, da, 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 and she's done 55 spastic moves. Like it's just so spastic is how I view that program.
The short program, just go back to the Picasso, just ditch this, do a greatest hits version.
Yeah.
It's going to be better for the Olympics. Everyone's going to be like, oh, genius. Okay. That short program is going to go.
Yeah. Well, remember Zagitova, actually, when she started her Olympic season, she was tanking that short nonstop at the beginning of the season.
My daughter, Anna Shcherbakova. Listen, this girl had a broken bone in her foot, was off the ice over the summer. She came back here, restored her quality of her base triple jumps and her stamina. She missed the combination in the short program, but in the free was gorgeous. Hysterical that Ted is telling us not to pay attention to the elements. It's a short program. We're going to pay attention to the elements, honey.
And she got the Atari choreography like tour de force, because she's on one, she's kneeling and playing with the ice, and in the other one she starts with the like tortured mind, and you're like, yep, they're pulling out all they do. This is another program. The long, to me, I wondered, do you see this kind of program winning the Olympics? I don't think that they could think that this was going to be an Olympic moment, this program.
My gut says we see this program at 2-3 more competitions.
Yeah.
And then we go back to last year's program.
Yeah.
You know, I think that there are elements of this program that stretch her as a performer, but I don't believe that this music has the kind of sweeping magic that you like to have in an Olympic Games.
Right.
I just don't think that the music sings or goes anywhere. And in an Olympic performance, people tend to go for music that sings, right? Yeah. It has an emotional journey. Yeah. This doesn't. Last year's was so emotional. I even picked it. Okay, we all cried like a Terry.
Yeah.
And frankly, to be really honest about where Anna is, she's in the go or no go zone to the Olympic Games. Okay.
Right.
If they decide not to take her, they're just going to blame the injury. Right.
Right.
And realistically, there are 3 spots and 4 really phenomenal skaters who could take it.
Right.
Anyone that you send, that you keep home, has a great argument for that why they should have been at the Olympics.
Right.
And that they were wronged.
Yeah.
That's reality.
Yeah.
Okay. Anna was already struggling with her quads at Worlds last year. Remember, she was missing them in the practices and sitting them down. She was recovering from COVID. Then she's had another, injury as we're, going from, last season to this season. I think she has the mental strength, and I think she has the inner willpower to get a quad back. But the other girls aren't going to stop working either. And I just don't think that these programs are special enough.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, an Oriental short program is so cringe to me. It is so
and
Russia.
You just clarify, there's a reason you did the quotes. You're not using that term, blah, blah, blah.
I'm not using that term.
Right, I know.
It's in the description on Twitter when we
yeah.
saw it, and then we saw.
Yeah.
But if Kamila Valieva can get her quads consistent, Kostornaia can have her triple axel, and Trusova is landing her jumps, is there really a spot for Anna? Now, Anna's been a very consistent, reliable, prepared skater for the last 3 years. I think that gives her enormous cachet within the field.
Yes, because the judges are going to go with it on PCS. The judges respond to it.
Yes.
So
when it comes to nationals, who gets to go to Europeans and who's winning on the Grand Prix?
Wait, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't mind the short program music. I thought it was a little heavy for her at times. Like it was like bogging her down in some moments, but I don't know. I kind of liked it.
I mean, look, she wore really nice dresses. She looked great. She always is packaged well.
I felt she looked healthy. Like the skating seemed healthy, even though she was without the quads. I felt confident about where she was. I wasn't nervous, like I was a little bit about Daria.
She has lovely qualities on the ice.
Yeah.
She clearly is a more emotive, more sensitive skater, but with a strong inner willpower.
Yeah.
Overall, I just didn't see the forward momentum that we saw from either Kostornaia or Trusova. To me, those two girls have,
because they were better than they were, and that's the thing. Yeah.
But think about it. They had the balls to leave a Terry. They had the balls to come back. Okay. Yeah. Egg on their face, blue hair, hideous red hair that didn't match a red dress. I mean, they have guts. You like it. You don't like it. You like the face fillers. You think it's too much for a girl.
It's moxie. Yeah.
It got moxie. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
What they don't have, good short program music, especially Alena Kostornaia. Oh my God.
Well, you know what? You know what? Someone must have just discovered like a Beth Hart playlist on like, Spotify over there or something. Because for them to have 2 Beth Hart programs, I was like, in this small camp, it seemed a random artist.
As someone who deals with a coach who can be a bit of a nightmare. Okay. Allegedly at times. Allegedly.
Amazing.
Also an angel. Remember, we're being forced to do a blues program.
Yeah.
And Galina vetoes every single choice.
Right.
And she is not for the idea of Dave skating to Amy Winehouse. She does not think it's interesting to have a man skate to a dead woman. Like, she doesn't get it. She doesn't, the humor or the intrigue, no.
Yeah, okay.
By the way, I think it would be great, okay?
Yes, I would love to hear her.
Sandra thought it would be great. Galina responds, keep looking.
All right then, so you keep looking. But I think this is like a Kostornaia movie.
I've been listening on Apple Music to every frickin' blues song. Beth Hart and Joe, however you say his last name.
Right.
That song that Hubble and Donahue skated to, the only Beth Hart song I like. I mean, I have to be honest. The rest is just frickin' noise. It is
Yes.
freaking noise.
And we saw 2 here. I couldn't believe it. It was so random.
The Kostornaia short program. My God, go back to Lovely, go back to You Can See Me in a Crown, either or, love them both.
The whole point is, Kostornaia for so long
What's wrong with Billie Eilish? Why is Beth Hart happening? These girls need Billie, okay?
Well, also no, Kostornaia needs something that sets her apart. All the other girls skate to that kind of
You know
stuff.
what sets
You
her
skate to
apart?
something better.
You know what sets her apart? Her frickin' attitude that she has.
Yeah.
She had the imaginary crown with the bracket. It set her apart, all right?
Yeah.
This whole
Yeah.
angel act, we know it's not true. You know what we
Right.
do know is true? That she sees herself as an imaginary queen, okay?
Yeah, not imaginary. She sees herself as a queen.
Right? I believed it. It was
Yeah.
authentic. As Sandra would say, it was authentic to who she is, okay?
I think that, yeah.
Lovely program, quite lovely, all right? Not everyone likes Billie Eilish. I thought fantastic, all right.
How are you feeling about the triple axel?
I think it's under-rotated, all right? I'm gonna be honest, and I thought the one in the
It was
free,
way under-rotated in the short. Like that was.
it was a Q. It was a Q
Yeah.
in free minimum,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, but
But
it seemed closer in the free.
way better than what we've seen before. And if
Yeah.
you remember, do I think she could get it by the nationals? Yes, okay? She still has a very open leg position in the air on most of her jumps. She's not the
Yes.
best jumper in the group. She's one of the weaker jumpers in the group, besides her natural spring. But in
Right.
terms of air position, she's one of the weaker ones. In terms of
Yeah.
overall skating, pizzazz, finesse, although her spin's dreadfully slow here. Really, still a weakness from last season.
Well, and the way she picks in for the Lutz and the flip, it's just it's so much less attractive than the rest of her skating.
But we ignored it when she was an angel for 2
We
seasons,
did.
but it was
We
there.
did. Yeah,
knew-
you'll always make excuses for the ones you like.
And there forever. But
Yeah.
it's what she does. But overall, listen, she came back and really has put herself in the combination by sheer willpower. I mean, you
I
think
know.
about last season, how poor she looked at the Russian Cup final and how far she has clawed her way back into
Right.
a Terry's good graces.
Right into the conversation again.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the one who is just mind-blowingly good, Alexandra Trusova, not my favorite skater in the group by any means.
No, but oh my gosh, what a moment.
And you know, if you remember, it's been maybe since 2019 since we've seen a really good free skate from
Yes. Yeah.
last season, the season before. Which quads was she going to do? We never knew from competition to competition. We talked a lot last year about
And
how
that quad flip, Dave, clean. So she like came straight down on the blade from like 10 feet in the air. I was like, this is amazing. The quality, I had never seen it so high.
last year she did grow a lot. They adjusted technique. They've obviously adjusted it more since she's been here. I think what we're seeing is a skater who, when training a consistent program and a coach who has a plan, whether you like the coach's methods, don't like the coach's methods, you can't say that Terry doesn't have an organized plan of attack.
Right.
She's in charge. She's clearly loving that these girls came crawling back to her. I mean, my God.
And now are thriving.
Oh,
Like, I was really surprised, especially when she took Kostornaia, but there is a magic there. They clearly, again, like you say, whether you agree with the methods or not, that you cannot deny that they are effective.
I think for this, it's having to do that full program every day, more than one likely, right? And having to do the same one, likely knows which quads are going to be in there, likely not being switched out. Were they all perfectly clean? However,
Well, not the sow. Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, the best free she has done in ever.
And you know what? And like we were saying,
Choreography was better and the run of edge better.
in the short program, the Frida especially, like this is what I want to say to those kinds of athletes. Like, listen, I got it. You're going for the material. You're going to bail on the program in 2 seconds. But you can give me like some opening moves. And she did that in the Frida opening. She gave you some really like extended, slow, thoughtful movements that kind of establish a mood that you're like, oh, she's emoting, she's performing, and she's stretching, and then she kind of bails and then goes into it. Now, triple axel, dear Lord, it was like in the rafters, too big, right? Because obviously she couldn't handle the landing. But I'm surprised, as like we're talking about with this Atiri stuff, and like training is consistent and keep it the same and do all the things, why you wouldn't want to offer the triple axel in both. Because to me, then suddenly you're training it twice as much and it would become more consistent.
You hear that she's working a quad axel, which is also crazy. But that might also be a strategy to make the triple axel easier and bigger.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because but although it is too big at the moment, the triple axel, I think.
Do I think that I mean, we haven't seen her quad axel attempt. Seeing anyone land it, we have not seen a clean competition. If Trusova can get a good triple axel that she could do in both programs, which she wants to beg Atari to let her to do, and she's always pushing to do more.
Right.
And the strategy is in Russia, they used to train the kitchen sink and take things out and still do way more difficulty than everyone else and have it seem way easier, right? And always, we've seen it in gymnastics, we've seen it in skating, Tarasova used to load in programs and then water them down for the Olympics. I think with Trusova, we're going to see a very consistent skater this season. Should she stay healthy? I think last year, the ankle injury, part of the problem, if you remember, like which quad was good, changed from competition to competition.
Right.
One competition to the Salchow was the cleanest thing we ever saw in our lives.
And biggest, amazing, yeah.
And it was off. So.
Right.
Yeah. But.
And the two Lutzes in the second half, I mean, they were great. That final one, especially. I was like, yeah, it's very impressive.
She was giving us shoulder emotion. I mean, her demeanor after every performance told you what she thought. And she didn't think much of the girls, which
and
we thought.
Skating to Cruella, and can't you see Atiri wearing a Dalmatian coat?
Jonathan, that's a mean thing to say about Atiri.
It's a tie-in to the film. It's a film reference.
I will just say the Trusova's hair here is not unlike Cruella's in the Disney animated film. All right.
Amazing. Now, you know who's not on your pyramid? Elizaveta.
Excuse me.
Tuktamysheva?
When have ever been in Team Tutberidze?
It says Team Tutberidze on the top. Sorry, I thought it was a Russian ranking thing. It's a Tutberidze ranking thing. Got it? Of course, it makes total sense.
Like she's that relevant to be on Team Tutberidze, okay? What are you kidding, all right? We really think Elizaveta is gonna beat these girls? Who is smoking what to believe that she is gonna be able to do it?
Because even she in interviews has been very upfront that like she does not see it happening if she can't get her quads in, so.
I mean, it's so hard. On one hand, mad respect to Elizaveta. She is here. She is gunning for it.
With the clean triple axel that was lovely in the short, but then of course had the issues with the combo.
Her choreography, terrible. The skating
non-existent.
Non-existent.
Electronica Scheherazade or whatever she was.
A lot of arm move. It's the same schlock every year.
It even ends with a this again. Yeah.
The free skate was rough. The free skate was rough.
The Lutz fall, that's when I knew something was definitely, because the triple axel turnout, you were like, oh, okay, I'm still with you. But then the pop and then the weird skid fall on the
just looked like it mentally just came apart. Yeah. But she has come back from bad skates throughout the season. It has to be mentally and emotionally challenging to be on a high after making it to the Worlds, getting a medal, and just knowing that your dream of going to the Olympics is against these little witches. Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
And they gave her a spot last year. So shutting out Mishina for an all-Atari team when Atari is helping the pairs and the I don't know that sentimentality is going to help this season.
No, that's something like the US or Canada would care about, which is why we're not winning as much.
Or at least what fans are going to care about. And fans
that's right.
Every opportunity, but
the
speed is not comparable to the other skaters.
No.
The programs are not as detailed as the other skaters that she is against. So.
Right.
How'd you think about Alysa Liu in Lombardia? Just while we're on ladies, let's just talk.
I had no idea she was going to try that triple axel. I have to say, in general, I see someone who is faster than she was, someone who is emoting like I didn't know was necessarily possible from her. Like these are those things where, as they were making small changes along the way, I felt like we were supposed to pretend changes were happening when they were not. The start of this season, especially, I'm like, I do see better programs. I do see better running edges. I do see a lot of these things happening. And how did you think about this triple axel? It was harder because the camera was grainy and it wasn't.
The camera at this event is always horrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she's a great competitor. For what she needs to do at this point in the season, the important things, I think she's going to secure the third spot at Nebelhorn.
Easily.
I think she's putting herself in good stead to earn a body of work to qualify for the Olympic team.
Yeah.
I don't believe she's competitive with the Russian girls.
No. But I do think she could be national champion.
I don't believe that all of her jumps are rotated or that she skates as fast as some of these skaters.
Some of the others, yeah, absolutely.
Had we not watched the Russian test skates the same weekend, Alysa's performance would be much more impressive.
Right.
But we're just watching skating on the computer, one event to another event.
Right.
It's hard not to compare.
Exactly. And you're vying for a spot on the Olympics to compete up against these girls.
In the US, I think she's more than fine right now.
I think so too.
Based on where we see Brady's at, where we see Mariah Bell is at. Alysa is delivering.
Right.
Hopefully she's not peaking too early. It doesn't look to be the case.
Right.
We've seen a steady improvement. Boston, Champs Camp, here. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
But she looks to be
snaps to the team because what they're doing seems to be working.
The third spot at Nebelhorn. Knowing how USFS politics work and the fact that the USFS has made her national champion twice.
Potentially thrice.
Well, and get the spot at Nebelhorn and did well, you're really putting yourself in a good position.
Yeah. And I have a feeling she'll be pretty clean on the Grand Prix. I don't think she'll win any medals, but I think she'll skate pretty clean.
Any of the American ladies are in danger of winning medals right now. Right now.
Yeah.
Injuries, things change.
Of course.
The forecast, not looking so sunny. Okay.
Yeah, it's all Russia and maybe a bronze for Japan once in a while. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And that's just life, right? For everyone right now.
Right. But yeah, the stark contrast between the two events. I mean,
I'd rather be Alysa than Brady Tennell right now.
Right.
That's right. That's
absolutely.
So.
And also, like, as we continue our lady theme,
also,
then at
how fun to have a matching ponytail with your coach. I mean, what? It is 2021, honey. Okay. All bets are off. All right.
But also then at Mid-Atlantics, which unfortunately we did not see any footage from. But
is the grunt era back? Like, what is going on with Jeremy and Massimo? Like,
everything cycles. Everything cycles.
When he was with Marina Zueva, he was looking so cute, and so what is happening? All right.
Yeah, yeah, an artist through and through. There are different periods of time. Yeah. But at Mid-Atlantics
would never let that happen. Okay, Scott Moyer, he got the hair chopped off before the big competitions. All right,
it's true. It's true, and maybe they will too. Who knows? Who knows? But a decisive win for Isabeau over Lindsay. A big score came in. I was
there.
No one was. I wish there was video from the event.
You know, a dance team crashed into Lindsay on Labor Day. She came back fighting like a Jersey girl. I would like to live and say props to Lindsay for doing well.
Great.
All hail the great Julia Lautova.
Congrats to Isabeau's decisive win also.
Isabeau's decisive win with her Julia. Okay,
Yeah,
we've got the
exactly.
two Jersey Yulias. All
You
right?
get a Yulia and you get a Yulia.
Yulia. We all get a Yulia. All right.
Amazing, amazing.
And
Now,
by the
Dave,
way, did you not notice that there was another Russian that had the chess program with the Benoit car crash, which Tracy Lee Brown comments every time Lindsay skates about how offended she is by the car crash and how trouble. I'm just saying, it was like exact. I was done. Okay.
Wait, now Terry won some real props for me also, because after the short program in particular, I was like, this woman is like a miracle worker, because she was getting Tarasova and Morozov to skate cleanly.
Listen. How dare you not bring up the Marie France 2019 Saitama inspired trench coat that she was sporting this weekend?
Yes, yes.
Is it raining in Chelyabinsk? I mean,
it was raining medal hopefuls for the Olympics. Yeah.
Her size, her beautiful makeup.
Danny with a bit of a triceratops point.
Or a troll, they were saying.
I wasn't.
I think it's a little bit of a Johnny Weir-Weave situation happening where maybe there's a little.
So applied in, it's so in.
Listen, I think he could get some shampoo and some like, listen, anyway, these are men problems that we worry about, okay? We're gay men, as Joan Rivers taught us, looks matter, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And he wore a very nice suit. Danny was dressed much better for the concert.
It's very dapper.
He was making some good eye contact with the Terry. They were eye rolling in unison. I really enjoyed their
dynamic. The whole routine down. Yeah.
I loved when a Terry comes out with the whole entourage for the Paris short program. I mean, they were 10 people. The shady doctor was in the back. The mask was still under the nose. I mean, you cannot make Russians up. But anyway, Trankov was looking great for TV. Pavel, who looks like the Diet Coke of Trankov, was there. He was the one that was with the Terry in Boston. The whole crowd was here for this Herculean effort to get Tarasova Morozov to skate well.
To land, yeah.
Jonathan, WE, not the most original music in skating. In 2016, it was all the rage. Papadakis and Cizeron and Evgenia Medvedeva skating to this music. I really believe that every dramatic skater, yours included, really just feels the need to skate to circles. It's like the new Schindler's List. We're all just begging to do it. It's like all we want, okay?
Yeah.
And I know you're a classical music snob and you loved Piano Concerto No. 2 on the Junior Grand Prix. This is how we know you're not trash like us. You don't just go, I want to skate to a naughty experience, okay? Why was it in the WE cut? It didn't need to be. I didn't feel emotionally that circles needed to happen, but apparently Daniil Gleichenhaus felt otherwise. I love that we watched Julien choreograph the Clair de Lune that looked like it was put over the music. There was a dress change and then a program change. I don't know. I think the long program equally snoozy, if not more.
Snoozy. Yeah.
But I don't care because the quality of their skating
is immense.
And there's something about, look, Marina improved them a little bit. I think that they've grown with the Terry. I noticed a couple of things. She seems to pay more attention to each pair element than perhaps they did before. Like how she makes sure that her ladies get every spin point possible and every arm flail on the footwork to get every GOE point that they can get. I just notice a new importance to every move that this team does, which
that's exactly right, Dave. That's exactly right.
Had the quality. It's not like they didn't have the quality and Terry just gave it to them, but they didn't have the quality in everything every time. She must be working their tails off in a little bit more of an organized way than they were doing in the past. Yeah. And you notice how she is in Evgenia Tarasova's face constantly. They seem to have like a strong woman to strong woman like dynamic going on, right? Yeah. Where they're like, she clearly sees that this girl needs some sort of psychological work happening.
Fire in there, yeah. And it worked in the short
too, right?
Yeah.
It worked in the short program. In the free, we did see errors. I think the free was kind of a wash. All the teams had errors, but I have to say,
the lift was almost scary when they put that down. Like that was going up.
Put the lift down. I have to say that the Russians are typically, if you've ever interviewed Megan Duhamel, Eric Radford, as I know, the Russians are not known for getting a lot of distance on their lifts. They've always been known for beautiful positions that maybe go from blue line to blue line. That second lift had so much speed and so much ice.
It fills the arena. It has such presence now. All of their elements, like you're saying, it owned the arena. It filled the space. It became important every moment.
To me, it looks between them and Sui and Han for the Olympics. I think quality, element for element, Tarasova and Morozov have an advantage. I think consistency-wise, home court advantage, sentimentality-wise, per components-wise, Sui and Han.
Style. I'm going Sui and Han. Yeah.
Granted, we don't know Sui and Han's new program, but they're closing the gap,
right?
And that's scary.
Yeah.
If you're Sui and Han, and that Salchow is tenuous, right? But Tarasova and Morozov, you saw the mistakes. The 3-jump combo was still a little bit scary. Missing the Salchow in the beginning, not the most important competition for them to peak at. I think we see that at least that,
but still light years better than it could have been or would have been in the past.
They're improving.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in both Moskvina teams, and I don't know how you feel about it, but after how good that they've been the last 2 seasons,
the programs are where they're losing me. And the Boikova dress for the free was like,
listen, she was feeling it. Did you see her giving a little hip sway?
I know, and I think that's great. It was upsetting.
I mean, look, I might want to borrow her dress for Halloween.
It had an Addams Family vibe to it or something. I was like, this is all cream of a plumber. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Or Morticia, I don't know. But anyway, I don't think I'd be a good woman in drag, though. I've never felt that, the face, the nose, it's too big. I don't think the makeup is right, but,
I can't do it.
I don't think I'm the one, but
yeah.
All right. Our world
champion Boikova here. Boikova's like
Mishina Galliamov felt like Moskvina gave them what she would usually give a Berezhnaya and Sigralitsa Olympic champion level team.
Right.
And to me, it emphasizes that they're not quite as mature or polished as they were made to look last year with less sophisticated music that was fun and had youth and energy to it.
Yeah, which is what they have in spades, but you're right. I agree.
And I wonder if the pressure of being world champions and competing against a team that's being trained by a Terry is in their heads. Because I think everyone in Russia knows that Tarasova and Morozov are considered the most talented pair team that's had Bobby and Whitney style relationship problems and coaching problems, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we embarrassed? Like, what is happening? Are we getting along with Clive this week? Anyway. The end of that free program was so slow.
Clumsy and ending with the
ending, it was, oh my God. I think
but it still seems more an Olympic program than the Malagania.
I don't know. Okay, structurally, I think the Malagania is better. I don't like the Malagania music. I said that last time. I still think they need to switch to the Stanley Black. They could keep the choreography. It's just more friendly for ears. It's a better recording.
Yeah.
My opinion, Samara, she might have another, but to me, they look like they're battling for a bronze medal at the Olympics. Now, her teams have historically looked like shit on the first pancake. That is how the first pancake became a thing, is because we would see Miss Kuchenik and Dmitriev at the beginning of the season in '93. And
we started on Kosakova. Oh my gosh.
Right? Or Gordiev and Grinkov, against Gordiev and Grinkov, right? And just being like, how are they going to go to the Olympics? And she has a way of preparing her teams.
Yeah.
But seeing right now and seeing that knowing what a Terry is capable of.
Right.
Scary if you're that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have to trust in Tamara Moskvina's experience. I just worry that these teams are both young. They are, Boikova's a little bit
fiery.
Feisty.
Loved her look though in the Swan Lake for the short. I thought it was very effective. Yeah.
I didn't know that we needed a Swan Lake from Boikova and Kozlovskii, but and I don't know that we did. I also didn't know that we need to keep the Esmeralda program for the other.
Yeah.
I didn't want my tambourine. Da, 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 da.
I know, but then it comes back so many times. It's like gonna haunt us. It's such an earworm.
It didn't make me want to dance. All right.
Yeah.
But she just lacks that kind of.
Yeah.
To me, it's not a slam dunk. They could both do a Billie Eilish program, and I would be fine with it for sure.
Totally. Totally. You're pushing Billie this week.
Well, we can cover up some weaknesses, okay? And both teams have got them.
Yeah.
Boikova's throw triple flip. This has to be a head game. I don't think that they're going to get the Sal Euler Sal. I just think that this is ambition over consistency for this team. Yeah. I think it's going to have to come out at some point.
Right.
But I do think that Boikova and Kozlovskii feel that they need it to be competitive. But I think if you look at Tarasova and Morozov, they're getting on quality. But maybe Boikova and Kozlovskii don't feel that they have the quality points.
Well, they don't have that same quality, that's for sure, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if that combination stays. I believe Mishina and Galliamov, having done it for a long time, we know that she was struggling with it in the practice here according to Ted, but it just, I imagine they'll get that back. We can only hope that they go back. But if you have to go back to last year's free, do you really use "We Are the Champions" at the Olympics when you're not slated to be the winners?
Yeah, it's going to be trickier. Yeah.
And that's to the general public. I mean, imagine Leslie Jones tweeting and making fun of you for that shit. Okay.
Right. That's exactly right.
I mean,
right.
Oh,
yeah.
You're like the new Candyman, right? You're like, well, that's ironic. Okay.
Yeah.
But it carried them last season. Maybe you struggle with this and you develop and then you go back for the last moment and then tomorrow looks like a genius. So
right. Speaking of going back to programs, how long do you think we have to sit through Kolyada's Schindler's List?
I think we have to sit through it as he stumbles through his definitely the first Grand Prix event, he's gonna bomb and the Schindler's List. There's nothing special about this Schindler's List, from the costume to the choreography to the.
And he is special. So I think it's.
How can you not? You used Ilya Averbuk last year. The man loves a genocide. He loves a Holocaust program. You don't have him choreograph for you?
Yeah.
That's his specialty.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, you're gonna that's like, I'm gonna do a talk show episode about rape and you don't call Oprah. Like, it's what she loves, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing, okay?
Right.
You call Averbuk, all right?
Yeah. It was just like kind of a nothing.
The man loves misery. He loves misery. He feels it, okay?
And it was such a successful pairing for the Numeria. But maybe Averbuk
They're gonna go back
had a different idea. Yeah.
Just don't go back to the rehearsal costume. That was not so effective. But the original costume, the men were god awful in the free here. Okay.
Yeah. Better in the short. A lot of them were throwing out some good quality stuff in the short. So it was interesting that they all collectively decided to bomb the free, it seemed. Who I'm fascinated by is, so they have chosen Aliev to go to Nebelhorn. Mm-hmm. And he's shaky.
Would you send him to Nebelhorn?
I don't know that I would have.
But I don't trust him to pick up a loaf of bread down the street. Okay?
Yeah, I don't know.
He might get lost. He might go to the wrong store. There might be gluten. I mean, you don't know. Okay.
I mean, and they're in an interesting predicament because I love I enjoy Peter's skating very much. I enjoy Mark's skating a lot. I enjoy Danielian, but obviously he was really struggling here. And quite frankly, Ignatov was at least churning out the quad loop at every phase here. So they've got a lot of guys in that second tier, how we thought we had like Torgashev and Camden and Timok until they all failed, but
I didn't know the
might
key
do
about
something.
Chameleon that made me just know that it was not going to be a good event.
Yeah.
He always is so well coiffed, right? Do you ever like go to school with like the really smart Jewish boys that are going to be lawyers, and they each have like that period where they start like maybe smoking the ganja and reading some literature, and they all grow out their fros for like 6 months junior year, and you're like, what are you doing? You look so good before, and like now you're wearing Birkenstocks and growing out the Jew fro, and you're like,
Yeah, it's like
I don't know.
rebelling in a way. Yeah.
Being a multi-million-dollar trust fund hippie, like who are you kidding?
Right.
You're going to Cornell, right?
Right.
Like what's happening?
Right. Yeah.
And
It's giving you those vibes, I see.
I was like, this boy is in his
Yeah.
rebellious period.
Yeah.
And will soon be back. Yeah. You know,
It's interesting. Yeah,
is
tell me.
blowing it right now. Really blowing it. Yaro Peñot. All right. This,
Well, what the heck? Well, I was like all ready to support him this season, and
he's been having
he's
boot
drawing
problems.
from Lombardia. Yeah.
He's been having boot problems and some stuff that's been going on for a couple months. His boots were getting weaker at Champs Camp. Obviously, you see the height of his quads.
Right.
They're getting weaker. It broke here. He's getting 2 new pairs. I talked to Todd Eldridge on Thursday. They're still moving forward to Skate America, but you have to think that this is a big missed opportunity. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
when you only have so many competitions, that's reality.
Right.
You're competing against Jason. There's talk maybe Jason will do his Grand Prix, maybe he won't do his Grand Prix. It's a missed opportunity. Yaro needs every competition. Hopefully they'll send him to another senior B, and I think it's likely they will. He certainly needs it for experience, for development, for Worlds, for next season, for whatever.
Right.
A missed opportunity for sure for him. I mean, this was a big potential. Daniel Grossel skated not well. Why is he?
Although, you know, I have to say this though, in the short program in particular, I see more line and stretch from him than I've ever seen before. So I was taking it for the short. I failed in the jumping passes.
You are damning him with faint praise, okay? You have seen the programs before. That was some Benoit masterpiece, okay? Like,
Yeah, but he stretched in them. Like for real, I saw more of an effort from him in that front. But of
who
course,
told him he could be Nureyev? Galina told me I couldn't, okay?
I know, that seemed like a little bit too soon and a little bit too too obvious. But wait, going back to Russia for a second, you know who always surprises me is Samarin's ability to rotate a beautiful quad on occasion. His quad lutz triple toe in the short, you know, at the Russian test skates reminded me like, oh, right, you can be dangerous if you ever actually landed consistently. You know, the programs do nothing for me, and I don't find him a very enticing skater in the in-betweens. But man, when he gets those big quads right, there is something very magical about it. But again, I'm thinking of Russia right now. 1-2 is Kolyada Semenenko, because Semenenko did well here. I don't know who their third is. I can't say it's Alia at the moment.
Also, speaking of Russia, do you ever hear music that you've had iconic moments to you personally of skating in the past, where a skater has had a mistake, and you hear another skater skate to it 10 years later, 15 years later, and you can't get it out of your head? I think about Scheherazade and Michelle Kwan's triple flip, right? But the one thing I can never get out of my head, Vivaldi, 4 Seasons, dun, 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 dun,
Surya!
dun. When Surya makes the mistake and
The woman screams.
the woman screams, and there's already like a groan before, right? That is where Kostornaia ate it in the free skate, in the same spot. Okay.
I know.
was like, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Granted, I think it's great music for Kostornaia. I do.
Yeah. Although she's not responding to it always, especially in the beginning, but maybe she'll get there.
But
yes, I hear that woman. I hear the Lillehammer performance playing.
yes,
Yeah.
I think the most people that are watching the show, they might be too young to get it. But if you lived through it and you know where she messed up on the left, oh my God, it's cursed.
Because
It is cursed.
But do yourself a favor and go and listen to the part, because to hear the audience response was like, it's ingrained into the music now.
You know what it is about that is not only did the woman scream, internally you could see Surya scream when it happened.
Right. I always wondered if it was her mom.
I don't think so. It
was Suzanne. Grabbing a hockey stick. Yeah, okay.
No, I think it was every fan. I think every fan on some level was rooting for Surya. She was so excited. Even though Liu Chen was so lovely, she really wasn't yet the Liu Chen that we loved and
really loved,
overlooked interpretations for in 1998. Right. I think we were like ready to give Surya a medal.
Right.
And it was
Surya threw that away. You can't blame that on anything but Surya making just huge errors all over the place.
She had a bad skate. It happens.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Now, wait, shift to ice dance for me for a second. I watched, first of all, no Buchan here.
No.
Which was always sad because I like seeing him. But I'm so fascinated. So they're doing Rachmaninoff, and then it gets into some real weird
Vicky
Yes. Yeah, Vicky and Nikki. And gosh, his twizzles look worse than ever.
Has he just not practiced them? What is that? It was a twizaster, Jonathan. In both programs.
Yeah, really unattractive positioning, really off axis, like fell out of them. It was so unusual to me. And again, they start the program well with the Rachmaninoff. Like the first opening few seconds are very with the music, and it's very beautiful. And then they just bail. And they're just doing a series of random movements later. And just knowing that they're trying to jockey for a position to win the damn thing, I don't see that happening with this material. And the short was also
Rachmaninoff. I look at it and I'm like, can we fake an Olympic gold medal with this? Navka got an Olympic gold medal.
You can in the beginning. I think it started and I thought
it starts and you're like, this is passable.
This
it's
could
classy.
do it.
It has the right look. She looks stunning.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. He used to be the star. If anyone is going to blow this,
it's him.
It's him.
Yeah.
Although the rhythm dance.
I'm bracing myself for such an upsetting season of these rhythm dances. Also in Lombardia, like all the music is terrible. Him like literally grinding on her like he's in a club. Like I was like, this is so
also
interesting.
I've heard that the Hubble and Donahue Janet Jackson rhythm dance is good, but
I could see them pulling it off. Yeah.
When she was wearing her see-through dress for the free dance with the socks, I was like, oh dear, because the text messages and the DMs were coming in of people already ripping the outfit apart. Although I've heard the program is very, very nice. It has holy vibes. Apparently they might have the stronger material than Jock and Bates this year.
Okay.
But it's, debatable. But Vicky and Nikki, and I find the charisma and the performance of Sara Hurtado to be so fantastic. She also had a twizaster.
Yeah. Something in the camp.
Is Julien just not a good Twizzler? Is he not?
Well, he never had to.
Right. I don't know. Like, what is the problem?
Yeah.
Granted, Katsalapov has not been able to twizzle like
ever.
Yeah. Through many coaches.
Yeah. And we saw the Italians, their rhythm.
Remember when Tessa Virtue couldn't twizzle for like a couple of years? It was a mental block, and then she went to Marie France, and it was perfect every time. Anyway, the Italians, it's so interesting. They're always upright in hold on one level. And are they like ice dancing in 1940? Like,
I was just gonna say, it gives me like 1950s carriage vibes, like the Kennedys or whatever. That do you remember that team like from back in the day? Like it has that energy. Yeah, and a nice little tuxedo and like a black velvet like long dress.
But is the program interesting for 4 minutes? No. But but do they have quality and do they have proper skating? Yes.
Are they doing everything they can to maximize the situation? Yes, I do believe that. And I think Barbara, if you let her work with some other high-level teams, I would love to see what she comes up with.
They're just inherently not interesting. And I don't know.
Even with the Michael Jackson. Like that music is so danceable and so like, but yet it was kind of Chibutani as.
Unless you're going to take a Michael Jackson piece that has not been used at all before, when I see almost anyone, unless it's someone like Shoma who has some special attitude.
Right.
When I see someone doing Michael Jackson, I just picture the kind of cringe of white bread, Amanda Borden in the black leotard and the black hat, like the Rock and Roll Championships, like, you know, white girl doing the thing, okay? It is the biggest cringe from like 1997, and that is where I am at with the Michael Jackson programs, okay?
Yeah.
That's where I was at with Alex and Maiia Khromykh doing it too.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's a wise choice.
Yeah. I think we're going to get a lot of that, even if it's not Michael Jackson this season in the rhythm dance, because even the Ponomarenko, it was a little like, and then someone was doing Careless Whisper, like the dee-da,
excuse me, the Kana Danes doing the Careless Whisper is fabulous, okay? I would do I Want Your Sex. I would do it all right?
Okay.
Just get into it, Jonathan.
Okay. No, people need to use Tanya's. People are still having sex. Remember that was the name of it.
Oh my God. Listen. The rhythm dance is going to keep us laughing. It is, oh my God. So
it has to laugh, otherwise I'm going to.
So the other night on See Alive, we identified the precise competition and moment that skating hit the point of no return.
Which was when?
The 2000 Goodwill Games.
Okay.
Men's artistic event. Riddle me this, Jonathan. And it's a great show. Go back and rewatch.
Yeah, I have to.
Got Urmanov doing the Phantom of the Opera with the cape.
Yeah.
You have Brian Boitano doing his like non-uptight number where he would go like this to the gap and wiggle.
To show how fun he was, yeah.
All the points for not skating to his husband singing Phantom of the Opera. All right. You have Orser, who like got in such good shape and then like would make little mistakes after doing the triple axel, but he was wearing like beige paint and pants and just like, you know, having some Eeyore energy. Victor was robbed. 95% of the people said Victor with the doll, all the points. I mean, he was shimmying.
Yeah, remember the doll attached to him.
Faded to Mambo number 5. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But the cringiest moment, Philippe Candelaro, who loved being naked in an exhibition,
fair enough,
doing Braveheart to Mel Gibson. And instead of taking his shirt off, Jonathan, he starts lifting up the kilt and shaking it, not once, but twice, okay? And we just thought as the sensitivity was we were getting out of the 90s and into 2000s, it became a cringe. It just became cringe television.
Yeah.
Couldn't go back.
And that's when it's done, yeah.
That's when we just had to go to Dancing with the Stars. And just do American Idol and have Paul tell us, you
killed it.
Boy. Okay.
Yeah. Like, amazing.
That's where the schmaltz went from pro skating.
I thought, when was that horrible pro event that it was like hot ice or something? Do you remember? And it was like yes, that's when I was just like, okay, you guys, we gotta knock this up.
Go back and rewatch the men's 2000 Goodwill Games artistic event, either on Patreon or on Hyacinth B's channel. But the shock and the horror of you see Philippe doing this. Oh,
a can like one of those can.
And I heard that this was going to be like the hip hop rhythm dance.
Yeah, there's some real cringe.
Like when you heard that the Shibutanis were going to be doing Michael Jackson, and you were like,
we knew exactly what we were going to get. Yeah,
we knew it.
Yeah.
Knew what we were getting.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
Buckle up, buckaroo, because if this is any indicator between just the Russian chess skate and Lombardia, we're in for a bumpy ride.
Jonathan Byer is complaining about Careless Whisper, and this is even a hot mess.
Yeah, we're gonna wish we had Careless Whispers everywhere.
You buckle up, okay? Get in for the ride.
Yeah.
It looks sexy, everyone. But.
Bye, guys.